Undoubtedly, John Baldessari is one of the most productive artists I know of. It really, I don't think, is an exaggeration to say that John Baldessari has played one of the major roles in the second half of the 20th century, right to the present, in defining what contemporary art is and how it's made. I just wanted to use another couple of quotes in a way for John to talk a little bit about the exhibition and how it begins to talk about this idea of learning to read as a core part of what John's work revolves around. That is language and interpretation on one side and pedagogical theories on the other. When John began the post-studio classic CalArts, he set a series of class assignments, more than 100 ideas for works of art that the students could carry out if they were lost for ideas, effectively. But also a kind of provocation, I think, to come up with more and more ideas. And that's what our education should be. Which allowed for us to bring together 26 works around the edge of the exhibition that form a kind of alphabet, which allowed again for works from early as 64 right the way through to 2016 to be placed together non-chronologically.
Walking around in the show triggered a lot of old memories. One of them was half-eaten apple cord in a comfortable chair, as if somebody myself probably left it there. It made me think that I would pass that hundreds of times during, my stay in that studio. But to point it out and say, well, that's art, and how anybody can really do that. So it boils down to this: that you can look around you and point your finger at it and say this is art. And of course, the problem then, of course, is to get people to believe you. But I think I've been pretty successful at that. There's another work down in the show called, it came from a Bible tract, and used to collect Bible tracts. I was an avid churchgoer, and it says, suppose it's all true, what then? That's a scary question. What if it is all true? I think in the show there is some typewritten text of ideas for doing art. And I did that for a class I had at UCLA. It was the second school I taught at. It was a handout for students that couldn't think of anything to do. I said, well, here, just pick one of these and do that. It worked. It actually worked pretty well, but then I was amazed that people had to think about things to do. I said, well, what do you end up if you don't think about it? I said, well, maybe painting pictures of fruit and bowls or flowers and anything. And I think, well, nothing wrong with that. That's actually a pretty good idea. But it's how you get people to understand what you're doing. And in that case, of course, I would just be making fun of the whole process.
Audio Jungle.